Good morning, Demetra. Morning, Paul. I think it's Paul. I think it's Paul. If those of you that are calling in could please announce your name when you call in, that would be really handy.
Hi, this is Demetra from Saginaw NPO. Good morning.
Good morning, Demetra.
Good morning.
Good morning. Here we
Good
are.
morning.
Can you see the agenda on your screen, Maya?
Yes, I can.
All right. And we're on the right track.
Awesome. And you can hear me, right?
Yep, I can hear you.
Oh, good.
Oh, awesome.
Based on the troubles we had yesterday.
Yes, yes. You never know. All right. Well, I started a little early this morning just to make sure that our Facebook Live feed was working and that everything else was running smoothly. So should be good to go.
Right.
Andrew from there, Ryan here. Oh, yeah. He was outside. I don't know if you guys wanted a menu. I'm just gonna say, I saw you.
I'm just dropping off menus for everyone. So,
You guys have food now?
we do. We have food. It's food and drinks in the bag too. We have a
Cool.
couple cards too.
Thank you, appreciate
So
it.
yeah, just want to make sure.
Yeah, I'll make sure we get this posted in the very obvious
Yeah, it's
spot.
great. I just seen him too. Just having coffee. So.
Yeah, I just stopped here a few minutes ago. Well, thanks for dropping this
Thanks,
off, man.
bud.
I appreciate
Have a
it.
great day.
Yeah, you too. Thanks,
Good
Dustin.
luck behind you. All right, I'll see you.
I muted Paul.
Okay.
Hopefully he can unmute.
Who's on the phone?
Dimitra,
Oh, that's Dimitra. So she's on twice then. Okay.
yes. And I'm on as well as you.
Yes. Yeah, I see. Yeah. All right. Hi, Dimitra. How are you doing? Are you moved into your new office?
No, I am not. There's some few things that they need to do yet still. I'm still working from home for now, though. It's okay. We'll get there. But yeah, it's a process, Maya. I tell you.
Oh, I can
A lot of
imagine.
moving parts. Yeah,
But-
there's nothing in the office. It's just the space right now.
Oh, so you guys need some furniture and stuff?
Oh yeah, yeah.
Oh.
And Huntington Bank was there, so like wiring and stuff is already there. It's all set to go. It's just a matter I have to do some ordering, things of that nature.
Yeah. Okay. But you're all moved out of the county building then?
Oh, absolutely. Yeah. Yep.
Was it lots of boxes in terms of documents and papers and all that?
Well, it wasn't a lot. I took most of the stuff that I could take as far as I took all of the stuff that had to do with transportation planning, which would have been Brian's old office or / Doug Bell's office and my office. So between the two offices, I was able to fill up an office pretty much 3/4 of the way at the new location. So quite a few boxes.
Well, at least you know where everything is, right? So you'll be able to once you get some furniture, once you get some, a file,
Mm-hmm.
all that, you'll be able to kind of put everything the way
Mm-hmm.
you like it and to be at your fingertips.
Yeah, I sort of sorted through them and kind of separated what was mine and what was Brian's or Doug's. And Brian was really not a paper person, so he was totally a online file, that type of person. Doug was more so the paper person a little bit.
Mm-hmm.
So it's mainly Doug's files that I have as far as the director is concerned. But yeah, I'll have them be separated from what's his and what's mine and stuff like that. So, but
Morning,
most of
Paul.
our stuff
Good morning.
is on the computer.
Sorry. Morning, Maya. How's everybody doing this fine Tuesday morning?
Good.
Well,
Okay.
It's not snowing yet, so how bad?
That word is forbidden until December. You know that, don't you?
Yes. Absolutely.
Not where I grew up. Now in mid-October,
Really?
winter peg.
Oh, boy. Well, I'll tell you what, November, December is soon enough for me.
At least November.
Yeah.
Yep. Oh, some people like it about the 15th or so, but anymore, it doesn't bother me.
Yep, that would be me. Craig goes, and we need it by the 15th. And actually, if it started snowing this afternoon, I'd be fine with that.
Oh, I don't know that anybody's even got their equipment hooked up yet for that kind of a problem.
I do.
Ah, God, you're really on the ball.
Thanks for joining in this morning. Much appreciated.
Ready for connection. Bluetooth connected.
Yeah, sorry I haven't made too many of these. I've been a little bit busy with this damn thing.
Oh yeah, we can imagine. No, totally understandable. Thanks for joining in today.
Everybody's got an excuse.
Yeah, I know. That's the best excuse I have, though.
Well, about the only thing I can say is I'm glad it's you and not me, but unfortunately, I feel awful sorry for you folks over there, believe me.
Yeah,
I do too.
the dams breaking was bad, but what's worse is dealing with FEMA.
Oh, really? Boy. Aren't they there to help us? Oh, okay.
Hey, Craig,
Yes,
what are they doing behind your house?
there's, they found some contamination back in the state land a ways.
Okay.
Over a year ago, and they're doing remediation back there, and it's just a constant stream of double bottom trucks in and out of there.
I thought maybe they were tearing your house down.
No, not yet anyway.
Okay. It makes a mess on the road, though. It does. It does.
Yes, it does. That's for sure.
It makes it really slippery when you go through there. So is the dam going to be back up by the first of the year, Craig?
The dam, no. But I'm hoping to have Curtis Road Bridge done by about deer season.
I heard that.
That's good.
They're saying we're going to have Saginaw Road done by the end of the month.
Oh, wow.
Yeah.
That's
Yeah,
great.
that's just huge. Yeah. Yeah, I'm kind of sick of driving around the lake to get to the township office, and now that they're doing that additional work on 10, having the westbound ramp closed, that means going up to Stark or down around south of Sanford, so that just
Yep.
makes it even worse.
Good heavens.
That was
But
as
as
bad
they-
as when the first fill blew out.
Yeah.
But as everybody says, it'll be great when it's done.
Yeah,
It will
okay.
be, that's for sure. You know, you just don't know how much you appreciate the little things until you lose them.
Mm-hmm. Absolutely, 100% agree.
Like 10% of your population in your village and all of your businesses.
Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah. Hey, did you see that we made the top 5 dam disasters on YouTube?
Ooh.
No, but I didn't know there were 2 through 5. I thought there was only this one incident here.
Oh no, China had some big ones and overseas, but we ranked right up there.
Ah. I'm not sure that's a good distinction or not. Up
I
with
would
China
say
and
so.
other huge countries.
Yeah,
No,
they
the
were
only
both,
thing that's good for is a plaque by the parks that got flooded for future, reference.
Yep.
If you've called in on the, pardon me, sorry, I didn't mean to interrupt. If you've called in on the phone, could you please kind of announce your name when you call in? I know I've got you, Demetra. There's another one, though. Yeah, we've got 2 people called in on the phone, just trying to identify who it is.
Craig Gozen's on the phone and on the Zoom.
Oh, fantastic. Thanks, Craig.
Tennis sports.
Dave Haig, City of Auburn. Did you get that?
No, I did not, but thank you.
Dave Haig, City of Auburn.
Thank you.
Yep.
Brad, how's it going?
I'm doing well. Good morning, everyone. Sorry, I'm a little bit late running here. My last Zoom call went long. That's kind of a common refrain for many people these days.
Good morning. We do have quorum. I just looked at the list of attendees and we do have quorum.
All right. Well, if you are ready then, Maya, are we okay to start?
Ready from my part here.
All right. Well, that's the important one. As long as you're ready, we will get going then. So we will call the meeting to order. It is 10:02. Again, my apologies for being late. Roll call. Maya, you're okay. We do have quorum. You're satisfied with that?
Yes.
You don't need us to go around and do a formal voice roll call, do you?
We don't need to. We can if we want to.
I don't
I
want
have the list of everyone.
As long as you're happy that we've got a quorum, I'm good with that. All right. So move on terms of item agenda number 2. Do we have any changes to the agenda that are necessary today?
No changes to the agenda.
All right. Any from the committee? Okay. Move on then. Approval of the September 1st, 2020 minutes. We've had a chance to look at those. If they're in order, we would look for a motion for approval.
Move to
I'll
approve.
move to approve.
Okay, I'll second it.
So if we can, especially if you're not there in person with Maya, if you can just let her know who's moving and seconding, that way she knows who to get in for the minutes. I think we got.
Oh, okay. Carl Hammond to approve.
Yep.
Paul Wasik.
I thought it was Paul for the second one.
Yep.
So, all right.
Thanks, Brad.
Carl, Paul.
Might get a little more flexibility long term because, you know, if it's region-wide, we have one MPO.
I think that's a background noise that we're getting.
Or something happens,
So whoever's the Stark B1 ID, we're getting your background feedback. All right, so we have a motion on the table for approval of the minutes. Are there any questions on that? Hearing none, all those in favor indicate by saying aye.
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 And any opposed, the same. Okay, those are carried and approved, excuse me. Item 4, the report of the officers. Do we have any legislative or MDOT updates today? I'm looking through our list here to see who we've got on.
Anita is on.
I'm on. Jay had a conflict. He's
Oh, there you go. Hi, Anita.
I don't have anything really big. I was looking through my stuff. I've been in back-to-back meetings this week, and I was just doing the scan now in terms of what things. The biggest item is the governor's emergency order being overturned last Friday. And what does that mean? Because it was to be in place for whatever it was, 21 days following that. But we don't know what that means in terms of, is it rescinded? But I don't affect Midland very much because you do allow quorum via call-in. So your public participation allows for folks to call in or do virtual meetings. So those MPOs that require to be there in person could have quorum issues, but we're still dissecting that in terms of what it means. That just happened on Friday afternoon.
Right. And I know too that there's a bill going through both the House and the Senate to allow virtual meetings. And it looks like that's going to be fast tracked through. So that might be put in place pretty quickly as well, which may take care of that problem for the MPOs that don't have the allowances that we do.
Exactly. And I'm not trying to be unsocial. My camera does not work on my computer right now. It broke down last week. So I requested a new computer. So I'm not being unsocial.
Modern meeting problems.
Yes.
All right. Well, thank you for that update. Are there any questions for Anita from the commission? All right. Do we have anything as far as an update on JobNet?
Yes, we do. First, let me quickly say regarding legislative update, the FAST Act looks like it's going to be extended for 1 year at the levels equals to the 2020 levels. So it looks like the MATS administrative funding and also the project funding is going to be at the same levels as 2020.
Okay.
So that takes care of that. In terms of JobNet update, per recent federal changes, the projects that we program in JobNet are supposed to represent total costs, which includes not only the construction cost of the projects, but any other costs like right-of-way, utilities, CE, PE, even if those other costs are not funded in any way via federal funds. So therefore, the JobNet team has been working to be able to incorporate that and be able to program all those other costs. That has been now completed. So shortly, we will be updating all the local and transit projects to account for all those other costs, and that only pertains to fiscal year 2021 and on projects. It doesn't, we're not going to touch any of the projects that already have been obligated and funded. We're only going to make this change to the future projects, but it is necessary. If the exact cost are not known on that, there is a possibility to put in default values, which is about 10 to 15% for various costs. So we can also do that, but we'll be working with all the local agencies in terms of figuring out what those costs are and to represent the information to everybody's agreement.
I'm going to piggyback on that piece that Maya just brought up. I wasn't sure if the team was, so FHW does require that the tip shows the total job cost. And we have something in JobNet called non-LAP funds. That's the new piece that was just put into JobNet. And that is to capture those local funds. For example, if you use 100% local funds for PE or CE, and you're only using the 80-20 split for the construction phase. But FHW requires that we show the total project cost. And if nothing is programmed in there, so MPOs have the ability to show the actual, if you only have 8% for PE costs, for example, that's fine, you can put that in there. If nothing is shown, there's an estimate of 10% that would be put in as a default for the PE costs. Something that I just learned today, which Maya probably already knows, is that a change request has to be generated in order for, if a project's in there currently and there's no change request, we have to create a change request that will trigger the PE cost to be shown as a default. And we didn't know, I didn't realize that today. So the question was, are the MPOs going to do that, or will MDOT, our program staff, do that? And I think we're going to take that on and go ahead and do that ourselves. For the ones that are already programmed in there, that's what we talked about this morning. So Maya, you probably already knew that a change request, I guess there were some instructions that came out and I didn't see that. So I think what we're going to have is, for example, Mitch, who's your SPS program manager, go in and do a change request and go to that LAP tab, and it's just going to be save, because nothing's programmed. It'll save it and put the 10% cost in there. If something's already programmed in there, we're not touching it. Does that make sense?
So you're basically just going to put default values in there, because Mitch is not going to know unless he's going to be contacting all the local agencies. So he's going to put, he's only putting default values then.
The default will automatically, what will happen is he'll create a change request. And if he were to just create a change request and go to the review page, JobNet will automatically throw an error and say, nope, on the phase page, you have an error. And it will require him to go to the non-LAP tab. And in there, it will show nothing is programmed. There'll be a red line, and the automatic default of 10% for PE and 15% for CE will come up, and all he'll do is hit save. And the default will be in there. If something is already in there, there won't throw an error, so there's nothing to change. There's nothing to do with it. So you can always go in there anytime and change it to an actual if you prefer. But if nothing is shown, the default will be in there. But we thought that JobNet was going to go backwards and just auto-populate. And we just found out today that's not the case.
No, I knew that. Attending the JobNet technical meeting, I knew that they did say very specifically that all those projects need to be changed. It's not going to be an automatic thing.
Gotcha.
Projects.
I missed that. I didn't hear that. Jeff Franklin filled us in today, and it's like, we didn't hear that. We heard auto-populate. So I apologize. I told you Maya would know. I'm telling you, you guys have like the best MPO manager. It's unbelievable.
Yeah, we think so too.
Yeah.
Thanks. But yeah, we'll figure out the details. We'll make sure that everything works. We're not talking. We don't have that many local projects, so it should be fairly quick job for us to make sure we are up 100% on making those changes and including all that information.
Do you
Now,
prefer to do that? Do you prefer to do that rather than Mitch go in and check for default?
well, I would like to talk with the, obviously not here, but offline with all the local agencies to see whether they do have the numbers that they would rather have, or whether they do want the default numbers. So that was something I was going to do. I was going to do within the next couple of weeks.
Oh, that's fine. We're required by FHWA, so we had a, what do you call that? A recommendation. We're required to do it. We have to meet that obligation. And FHWA is going to be looking at our report and seeing that the total job number is no different than the phase cost. So that's why we have to go in and show that default, but we're not going to change anything. And at any time when you get the correct numbers, you can go back in and adjust it. It's not a problem.
Absolutely. And one more note I wanted to make is in terms of tip amendments,
Mm-hmm.
the tip amendments are based on the construction phase of a project, basically on the just on the phases that utilize federal funding. So
yes.
Even though we will be adding this additional funding to each of the projects,
mm-hmm.
the tip amendments will not be based on this additional funding. It's only based
correct
on the phases that only include the federal funding. So for us, only the construction phases.
Yeah, these changes will not trigger any type of amendment. Not at all.
Okay. So Maya, just a heads up that your last part of your comments there, your volume got very low. I don't know if that's just me or if everybody else had that same problem, but I could hear you, but barely. So, okay, do we have any good questions then for either Anita or Maya on the JobNet issues?
Yeah, Jim Lillo, I do.
Jim?
Just to clarify, what I heard and what I wrote down was the 10% of the 15% requires a change request. Does the local agency have to get a hold of Maya or somebody to have a change request or to put the defaults in?
No.
Or do you just, okay, so that's what I heard, and meaning that I would have to say, Maya, please use 10 and 15, or Anita, please use 10 and 15. So that's not the case. It'll just, MDOT is just going to take that on and default it.
Yep.
If I do something different.
Yep, and Rich just joined. So we're going to have a internal MDOT meeting this afternoon. And so Mitch is finding out right now ahead of time. We're going to be asking our SPS program managers to go in and generate a change request. If there is no PE or no CE amount in there currently, if there's only a con phase, they're going to generate a change request, which will automatically have JobNet generate that. Then Maya is going to check in with her agencies to see if they have specific amounts they want to put in, and she can adjust those amounts.
Perfect. Thank you.
All right. Anything further?
Yeah, this is Dave Engelhardt. Anita, I'm assuming this impacts the rural program as well?
Yes, it does. And Don is going to be working with Luke and Brad and talk about addressing those.
Well, I like Maya's, I guess, motivation to get actual numbers if they have them.
Mm-hmm.
Is there some, I guess, communication forthcoming from MDOT that we could forward on that would explain that situation that we could then forward to our agencies that
yep.
have projects?
I think there was actually an update outlined. There's a manual, I think it's on the JobNet page, that does talk about these non-LAP funds. So I will let Don know that you are looking for the specific communications.
Thank you.
Okay. I'll ask Ian, any other further questions for Maya or Anita? All right, hearing none. Thank you for that update. Appreciate it. And thanks for the questions. We'll move on to item 5A, the agency reports, starting with the Matt's administrative report. Maya.
The Matt's bank account balance stands at just over 40,000. I am preparing the fourth quarter fiscal year 2020 invoices to be. I'm hoping to have them submitted to MDOT within the next 2 to 3 weeks. DART and Midland County Road Commission, they are preparing invoices regarding their either transit planning or planning activities and asset management activities, and they'll submit that to me, and I'll submit that as a part of that fourth quarter.
Excuse me, Maya, I'm sorry. I'm having a difficult time hearing you. Is it my computer on this end that I was, or?
No, I'm having the same problem. She's very
sorry.
faint. You might want to go into your audio settings, Maya, and increase the sensitivity of your mic and see if that'll increase your volume a bit.
If I can do that.
But you were fine when you started, and then partway through the meeting, you just went to a very low volume.
Yeah. Let me quickly leave the meeting and come back on, because I've had problems with that before, and problem is if I start fidgeting with the volume, it tends to totally.
All right, well, jump out, come back. We'll wait for you.
Thank you.
Hear me better?
Well, you're back, but it's the same.
What I can do is I can call in on my phone. That may be easier. I think it's something with my computer, unfortunately.
Yeah, you might need to.
All right.
Is that the generator? Generator starting to start?
Brian, you might get pushed into emergency duty here.
Well, we're always ready. So I don't think so, though. I'm sure Maya will be all right here.
Well, give her a moment here.
I think this might be her way of telling you that they need a new computer. It should be on the.
Hello,
There she is. Hi, Maya.
it's Maya here.
Yep.
Sorry about that. And yes, I think it's my problems with my laptop.
And Jay was just saying that you're telling us you have need of a new computer, and this is your way of telling us that. So
I was actually thinking not, but I guess maybe.
all right. Well, we'll continue on then with the administrative report.
All right. So Matt's bank account balance is at just over 40,000. I'm working on the fourth quarter fiscal year 2020 billings, and I'm expecting to receive invoices from DART and Midland County Road Commission shortly, so I can submit those together with Matt's billings. About 2 weeks ago, administrative subcommittee met. It's going to be a regular yearly meeting, and reviewed various financial and administrative matters. There were a couple of things regarding Matt's borrowing accounts, signing of Matt's checks, reviewed information regarding insurance and audit and Matt's audit. We indicated that this year Matt actually was not in need of any equipment. Also, fiscal year 2020 administrative funding was reviewed, and the next year's administrative funding and expected tasks were reviewed. And the last thing that was also done was the annual employee performance evaluation, and the recommendation from administrative subcommittee is to provide a 2.5% wage raise for both employees, and also allow me to carry over 3 extra days to fiscal year 2021, 5 days regularly allowed, and this is to allow me to carry over 8 days.
Okay. I don't think you need any action from us, correct? Or is...
Yes, there's actually an action needed from policy approving the wage raises and approving carrying over the 3 extra PTO days.
Yeah, of course. Okay. Okay. Questions for Maya? So if not, is Maya now the time that we need that that motion introduced?
I think they'll be good. This way, that'll be all done with, and we can move on to the next item.
All right. So I'm assuming so the wage rate makes sense. It seems to be in line with what's typically taking place around the area, and given the current standards and restrictions everyone faces. The carryover is just in recognition of the problem that nobody's taking vacation. Is that pretty well it?
Yes, that's correct.
All right. And that too makes sense, because certainly it's been an unusual year, and it's been a challenge for people for a variety of reasons, either to take it or to take it in what would be a meaningful way. So I would certainly have no objections to that. I don't know what the rest of the pleasure is of the committee, but if everyone is in support of it, you would be looking then for a motion to approve the 2.5% pay raises together with the additional carryover of, is it strictly vacation time?
Yes, it's strictly vacation time, and it's just 3 additional days, basically.
Right. So we would need a motion to that effect from someone on the committee, if someone's willing to do so.
I'll make that. Oh.
So
go ahead.
Motion
to carry. Gary from County Connection.
All right, Gary, thank you.
And
Karen, did I hear you support that?
Yeah, I'll second the motion.
All right, thank you. All right, so everyone clear on what that motion is, or any questions on it? All right, hearing none, we'll move to a vote. All those in favor indicate by saying aye.
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 And any opposed, the same? All right. Well, certainly, Brian and Maya, that's those raises are well earned. You guys have done a great job this last year. We appreciate the efforts and support, and basically keeping us running during all these times. So it's been a very tall challenge in a lot of ways, and we certainly appreciate the efforts. And as Anita said, we know we've got 2 good staff members, and we appreciate you both. Okay, we will move on then to the work task updates.
All right. Brian and I have been continuing to review the future SC data, both in terms of population, household, and employment. We are actually getting very close to having them done. We had been processing any. There were a few administrative project changes, so we have processed those. I'm very happy to report that with just one exception, all our program fiscal year 2020 projects have been obligated. The one project, there was also been a delay due to the right-of-way acquisition, so that project has been moved to fiscal year 2021, and it's gonna be obligated very shortly. I have been working on various end of fiscal year tasks and beginning of new fiscal year tasks, like signing and processing authorizations for the new year. And Brian has been working on the NMT plan update, preparing a draft of a new NMT plan. And that pretty much takes care of all the things that we've been working on over the last month.
Very good. Okay, if there are questions, now would be the time to bring them forward. Okay, hearing none. Move then into item number 6, our unfinished and new business. And we do have a number of action items, beginning with item A, the amendment of the MATS bylaws. These are the changes we've discussed previously. This was intended largely to synchronize the appointments and elections and all of those things that will make both our lives and, more importantly, Maya and Brian's lives a little easier. I think everything, correct me if I'm wrong, Maya, everything would now move to 2-year terms effective at the beginning of January, so that all that would be taken care of at a single point in time, and not have these multiple times throughout the year. Is that essentially the extent of the changes?
Yes, that's correct. And we have sent out to everybody the proposed changes. They are marked in yellow, and the language there would need to be removed from bylaws is shown with it being crossed out.
Right. So, and again, we've gone over these before. This is just the language that we've directed you to bring back to us at this point in time. So my review, it looked like you've followed through on what we asked you to do. And if everyone else agrees, we would look for, again, this is an action item, so we would look for a motion to approve the amendments to the bylaws. But again, if there's questions, now would be the time to bring them forward.
Craig Gozen moves to approve.
Thank you, Craig. Can we have support?
I'll support Carl Hammond.
All right, thank you, Carl. Okay, final chance for questions. Again, this is what we asked her to do, so thank you for doing that. We will call for a vote. All those in favor of the amendments to the bylaws as presented indicate by saying aye.
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 And opposed, the same. Okay, those are carried. You have new terms, Maya. So
Great.
keep us up to date on what that means for all of us and for different appointments. So as we get closer to the end of the year. So.
Absolutely.
All right, then we'll move into the performance measures, and starting with the state safety performance targets for calendar year 2021. And so again, these were presented. You do have the information. I'll be honest, I looked through it. It's kind of confusing to me, but my understanding is that we adopt these instead of having to come up with our own and justify our own. And so they're presented for, again, action today. But Maya, any additional comments you'd like to add?
Yes, I just would like to note that the proposed targets for calendar year 2021 are very similar to the targets that you all had supported last year. The only thing is that they are a little bit less stringent, and that is due to the 5-year rolling average, which actually the number of accidents is still unfortunately creeping up. So in order to be able to in any way try and meet those targets, unfortunately the targets need to be lowered a little bit. And that's what MDOT, when they did the entire evaluation, has done. They have so the the proposed targets, which we have sent and which are shown to be number of fatalities at 968, rate of fatalities 0.9, number of serious injuries 5,500, rate of serious injuries 5.6, and number of non-motorized fatalities and serious injuries 771. Those are the numbers that MDOT has come up with.
All right. So effectively, the ones, the table that you have on here are more the serious effects. These aren't the overall crash rates, but these are the fatality, serious injury targets, and they are trending. The request, at least, is that they trend down a little bit from the rolling 5-year average. Correct?
Yes.
Okay. All right.
Maya, this is Craig Gozen. I have a question on this. Did we see this trend upward that may have correlated with increasing highway and expressway speeds?
I'm not sure. That would be a question for MDOT and for the team that does the entire evaluation of the situation and that prepares the kind of evaluation of baseline conditions. I don't know.
Okay, thank you.
Okay. Other questions? So again, this is an action item to adopt these as our targets for the calendar year. Do we have support, or a motion, I should say, to do so?
So moved, Paul Wasik.
Thanks, Paul. There's support.
I'll second that. Carl
Support.
Hagan.
I think we got Carl first there, so we'll go with Carl. So thank you both. Questions on the motion? Everyone clear on what we're being asked to adopt with this? All right. Any no questions? We'll call the question. All those in favor indicate by saying aye.
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 And opposed, the same. All right, so that is approved. And Brian, I'm going to wait for you to bring your report up, but I believe it's the bridge targets are the next one. Again, this will be an action item. Took me a while to get there. There you go. The support again of the updated NHS bridge condition targets, which Brian has up here on the screen for us. Maya, you want to run with that one?
Oh, sure. And just a quick explanation. Regarding bridge targets, MDOT had to set both 2020 targets and 2022 targets, and after 2 years, they were required to do a review of actual performance. And when they have done it, they realized that the targets were not the 2020 targets were not quite met, and there are a couple of bridges that actually have gone down in terms of their condition. So therefore, MDOT has decided to slightly adjust the 2022 targets. So what you see in front of you is they are proposed 2022 targets, which need to be now supported by each MPO. And what you can see that in terms of a good, in terms of a good condition, it goes down from 26% to 23%. In terms of a fair, it increases from 67 to 69, and instead of a poor, and in terms of a poor, it increases from 7 to 8%. So the overall condition of the bridges is expected to decrease slightly, and that is reflected in those new proposed 2022 targets for bridge deck area.
Okay. All right. So again, this item requires action on the part of the commission. Do we have support for a motion to approve?
So moved, Craig Gozen.
Thank you, Craig.
Paul Wasik, support.
Thanks, Paul. Okay, questions on the motion? Everyone clear? All right, we will move then to vote. All those in favor of the motion as presented indicate by saying aye.
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 And opposed the same. Thank you. That is carried. And then our
And I'll
final one.
prepare resolutions. I'll prepare resolutions to the effect of your votes of your approving those two action items.
Okay. All right. So our last performance measure is the update regarding the local agency asset management plan. Get my name right. Maya, do you have comments on that?
Yes, just very briefly. A third of the agencies within the state were supposed to prepare the asset management plans by October 1st. Across the state, there have been several agencies that were not able to do that. There has been requests to TAMC to extend the deadline. TAMC has indicated that they are not sure whether they themselves as an organization can extend the deadline, but they also have indicated that per statutes that were enacted, there are no penalties to any of those organizations that haven't submitted the plans by October 1st. They are looking for those plans to still come in within the foreseeable future, and are asking those agencies that haven't submitted them yet to work on those plans and submit them when they can. And obviously that's two of agencies within our area have experienced in the process of preparing those plans. They have not been able to do that by October 1st, but so that's why we're kind of bringing that to the attention, that as to what the statewide situation is.
Okay, so this one does not require any action, but are there questions for Maya? All right, hearing none. Oh, I'm sorry.
Sorry about that.
Go ahead, Jim.
I did get a call from Roger Belknap, and he basically said the same thing. So I appreciate his call, and we'll see what happens.
Yeah, good point. All right. Okay, we move on then to item 6C, which is the non-motorized planning matters. And again, is Maya or Brian taking this one?
I'll take that.
All right, Brian.
So as Maya mentioned, we have been working for the last little while here on updating our non-motorized transportation plan. So in the process of doing that, one aspect of that is, of course, there will be a list of projects in that plan that are proposed and wished for both. And to that end, we have reconstituted the non-motorized transportation subcommittee. We asked for sort of a reconfirmation of those people that were previously on the committee, as well as volunteers over the last couple of months. We've been pursuing that. We have a committee put together now, we think, and then we're going to have an initial meeting on October 14th. I believe that's in the afternoon. We'll send everyone, of course, a notice of that, so you'll all know when that is, and of course, everyone is welcome. So that is that's what's happening there. We expect over the next couple of months to have that all wrapped up. The other aspect under this item here is, of course, our complete streets list. That up on the screen for you. And let me make that larger for you.
Thank you.
There we go. Hopefully everybody can see that.
I've got it on full screen and I can barely read it. So
sorry. There's really just these are all been reviewed by the representative to the non-motorized, which is now Thor Brecht. Approved all of them. These have been reviewed by the technical committee meeting earlier. They've approved all of them. And there's really just one request for an exemption on here. That's the top project, which is the Bay County Road Commission Salzburg Road project. And I believe there's a little explanation there in the text. And otherwise, they all either have some type of NMT facility there, or there will be slight modifications to NMT facilities. But the only exemption being requested really is the Salzburg Road project.
And that's essentially due to lack of connectivity to any current, future, or even remotely planned projects in the area, correct?
Correct.
All right. Okay, so do you need then a motion? I know this is an action item for the form, so you're looking for a motion which would approve the 5 projects and the assessments as provided or presented?
Yes, exactly.
All right. Questions from the commission? If not, a motion for approval would be in order.
I'll move to approve. Paul Wasik.
Thank you, Paul. Starting to hear crickets there. I was wondering.
All right, Kevin Ray, I'll second.
Thank you, Kevin. All right, final chance for questions on the motion or any of the projects. All right, hearing none, we will call the question. All those in favor of the motion indicate by saying aye.
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 And oppose the same. Very good. That is carried. Okay, gotta get back to my agenda here. Okay, that moves us then. So that's our last action item on our agenda today, but we do move then into public comment. Do we have anybody on the call today or that would like to make public comment?
Excuse me, Brad. I think there is one more action item.
What did I miss?
Should be item D.
Oh, you know what? I did skip right over D. I apologize. We do have the tip amendment. Thank you, Brian. So run away with that one.
Yes, regarding the TIP amendment, there's only the two new projects for fiscal year 2021, and they pertain, those are the PE and construction phases. It's a traffic safety project, and it pertains to providing pavement markings. The cost for this, it's a regional project, and within Matt's area, there are various locations, and with cost of $21,000 in terms of federal funds and $275,000. $275 for PE in federal funds.
Okay. So again, we would need to amend the tip to include these projects and would require a motion to do so. Anybody willing?
Kevin will make the motion.
I'll second the emotion of the emotion.
The emotion.
The emotion, Carl Hammond.
A lot of that today.
Yeah.
These tips are emotional things for us. Sorry, Carl, we're having fun.
That's okay.
But,
It's been a long week already.
a little bit of levity. That's a good thing. All right. Are there any questions on the motion in front of us? All right. Hearing none, all those in favor indicate by saying aye.
Aye.
Aye, right. And are there any opposed?
Yes.
Okay, that is carried. That then takes us to the public comment section of the agenda. Is there any public comments today? All right.
I see none on the Facebook page as well.
All right. It looks pretty quiet from what I can see from my viewpoint as well. So that then will move us directly to adjournment. And I always forget, do we take a motion or do we just adjourn?
I believe we usually just adjourn.
All right. Well, I will, unless anybody has any objections then, thank you all for your time today. I appreciate the actions and activity or attention to all of these items. And I know we got a lot of stuff done that'll help Maya move along today. So appreciate your time. Thank you all. And we will consider the motion or the meeting adjourned.
Thank you.
And I
Thanks,
very
Maya.
very much
Bye.
apologize for the technical issues in terms of the volume.
That's just one way to get a new computer, Maya.
All right. Take
Thank
care.
you.
all.
Have a good day.
You too.
Bye.
Bye now.